So not everybody has a maternal pull to have children, right? Within your first 2 years, like, you need to produce a child. We're in a society where some people, they don't even want to have kids. Complete crickets. That's what you get, crickets. If you're not going to help beyond that, then keep your opinions to yourself. Close family, her own father, that she'd had 6 miscarriages. She only told him that she had maybe 2. What do you mean you can't tell me? Isn't this what we're here for? Like, you could tell me anything. We could tell me anything. But the reality was she was facing a battle that many people did not know about. Nobody has to do anything like that. They can do what they want. So stop judging, honestly. Hey guys, welcome back. Okay, so today, I want to talk about Miss Trudy and Wode. I'm sure most of you, if not all of you, have heard the news that she's finally pregnant after 6 miscarriages. And I am so happy, and I actually feel very emotional about it. I'm so happy for them because I remember speaking to Miss Trudy, I think probably about 4 years ago now. And we had a private conversation, actually. And, you know, she was telling me about her journey, and she'd already had some miscarriages then. And so she was asking me about my experience of getting pregnant and all of that. And I remember we shared a moment because I said to her that I had my own fertility issues at the time, you know, where I was actually told that I couldn't have children, right? Or that it would be very, very difficult for me to have children. And obviously, I've ended up having 4, right? But so I definitely sympathized with her. I knew where she was coming from. I knew the hurt that she was feeling because, you know, it took me a number of years to also get pregnant. And so, like, I understood the journey that she had been on. I understood, like, I watched her video. And in her video, she talks about how, you know, people could be very insensitive and asking, when are you going to have kids? Like, I've been down that road as well. So I know what it feels like. And I know, especially when you have, and not everybody has a maternal pull to have children, right? But I definitely did. And so I know what it feels like to have that pull and not be able to see it through. And so I felt her pain so much. And just watching the video, I was just so pleased for them because, like, I know how many years it's been, like, they've been trying. And so it's so difficult. And, you know, when you're out there, especially in the public eye, people have opinions. And as she said in her video, right, so many people formed opinions. Oh, your husband is not treating you right. Oh, because you're just having enjoyment. That's why you're not focusing on your wifely duties. You're not getting pregnant. You're not doing this. You're not doing that. People have so much to say about other people's lives. I don't get it. Like, why is it your business? Like, why is it your business? If someone comes on camera and chooses to share, okay, look, this is my struggle and I'm going through it now, then fine. But if the person hasn't shared that, it's not for you to start making videos about them and saying, oh, this, that, and the other. I think it's because of this and that. It's unfair because you don't know what the person's going through. You don't know the battles that the person is facing right now, and all you're doing is adding to that pile. And so I definitely felt everything she said, and I was watching it just before I shot this video. So I started watching it last night, but I finished watching it this morning. And I was like, I have to, like, compose myself, do you know what I'm saying? Because it's very, very emotional, and it's so hard for women. And the reason that I want to talk about it today is because actually I feel like, I'm not going to say Africa, I was about to say Africa, I'm going to say Ghana. Ghana has an issue when it comes to these things because so much is focused on when a woman gets married. Well, first of all, the woman should get married. And when she gets married, she's supposed to have kids. That is like an automatic thing. Like, there's no other way about it. Like, you're supposed to have kids. Probably, I would say maybe within your first 2 years, like, you need to produce a child. If you don't produce a child, there must be something wrong with you, or you guys are not doing something right. One of you is unhappy. One of you is cheating. One of you is doing something. There's always, like, this story that is behind it. And family pressure when it comes to having kids after getting married can be incredibly intense. As she said, again, people will ask you insensitive things. Why is it? Why is it? Why is it? And not thinking that perhaps there could be an issue. And even sometimes if they know there's an issue, there's still this outside pressure for you to perform. Like, oh, maybe you're not doing it right. Have you tried this? Have you tried that? Have you tried? Like, everybody wants to bombard you. And sometimes it's not about what the person has tried or hasn't tried. Sometimes it's just the way that it kind of is at that time, you know? And so it's like we need to move it away from this pressure. And obviously nowadays we're in a society where some people, they don't even want to have kids. I said it. Some Ghanaians don't want to have kids. And the reason they don't want to have kids is because it's their choice. Because at the end of the day, the way I see it, right, people will say, have kids, have kids, have kids. Oh, have plenty of kids, have plenty. And when the kids come, who's looking after them? Who is stepping up to the plate? Crickets. Complete crickets. That's what you get, crickets. Like, I'm not saying that for everybody. But when it comes to certain things, when it comes to financially trying to look after these kids, trying to put them in school, trying to buy them clothes, trying to take them on holiday, trying to give them certain things, sometimes there's nobody to help you with that. Only these people that have given you advice say, yes, this is how you should do it. This is the path that you're supposed to go. But actually, there's no help beyond that. Like, if you're not going to help beyond that, then keep your opinions to yourself. Keep you should have kids to yourself, because it's for an individual to decide whether they're going to have kids and how many they're deciding to have, because we know that these things are expensive. So if someone's saying, I don't want to have kids, it's okay. The person doesn't want to have kids, or maybe they're not ready to have kids at that time. People are allowed to change their mind. Someone's allowed to say today, I don't want to have kids, and tomorrow say, you know what, I want to have 2 kids, or I want to have kids. Do you know what I'm saying? They're allowed to do that. You're allowed to live life on your own terms as to what you want. But in Ghana, there's so much pressure to walk this path of get married, have kids, and it can be a lot for a person to deal with, especially if you're coming from a background where people don't necessarily understand that you can live life in a different way. Maybe that's not what you want. Maybe you want to get married and you just want to travel. Maybe you don't want to get married. Maybe you just want to travel. Maybe you just want to live life and be selfish about your life and live it how you want to live it. Maybe that's what you want to do. These things are not necessarily wrong. They may not be the norm in Ghana, but it doesn't mean that they're wrong. And so sometimes we take on the burden so much of what the outside is saying, how we should live our lives and what we should be doing, that it puts too much pressure and it stresses people out. Because I'll be honest with you, when I was in that space of, I don't know, like, what's going on, I don't know if I can even have kids, it was a lot. Like, you don't even want to tell people that this is what's happening right now, because sometimes people are not understanding. They don't get it. They just don't get it. It's like even when you have kids, right? So now you have 2 kids, now you have a third. Hey, another one. 4 kids. Hey, another one. Like, you can never win. You can never win with people's opinions. So someone's always going to think what they think is right. But you have to learn to do what you think is right, what is right for you. It's not easy. It's not easy going down this journey of, trying to look for fertility treatments and stuff like that. Thankfully, I didn't have to do anything. Like that. I was able to, once the floodgates were open for me, right? So I was able to just have children one after the other like that, right? And so I was grateful for every child that I was able to have. But some people, Miss Trudy, she had to go through these surgeries. She had to go through the poking, the prodding. Are you doing this? Are you doing that? She had to do it. And you hear in her story, she talks about how, she couldn't even tell her family, her close family, her own father, that she'd had 6 miscarriages. She only told him that she had maybe 2. Like, that's tough to carry that burden, but sometimes it's easier, and I can understand why they decided to carry that burden themselves, because it's easier to deal with your own emotions than somebody else's. I remember some time ago, I was having a conversation with my partner, and he was saying to me, there's some things that I can't tell you. And at first I was like, what do you mean you can't tell me? Isn't this what we're here for? Like, you could tell me anything. We could tell me anything. But as he began to explain to me, I understood what he was saying, and it's the same principle. There are some things, right, it's easier for you to carry the burden alone, because when you begin to tell people, they put their feelings on top of yours. So now it's not only that you're responsible for how you feel about this situation, now responsible for how other people are feeling, and it makes you feel worse. It just adds to the burden, the pressure of what you're feeling. So, for example, if take Miss Trudy's, right? So she's saying she's told her parents that she's had 2 miscarriages. Okay, right? It's unfortunate, but, you know, they've sympathized with her. Now, every time she comes, I've had another one, I had another one. Now she's having to deal with the emotion that these people are also having on top of her own emotions. And that can be a lot to weigh. It will send you into a state of depression. It will make you feel less than. It will hurt you. It crushes you. Seeing other people have kids and you're seeing congratulations all over their place. Not that we're not happy for those people, but it's like it's a difficult space because you're happy for them, but you're so sad for yourself. And we need to move away from putting these pressures on other people. We have to allow people to live life in the way that they want to live their life, and that is it. Because often we don't know what someone's going through. You may have thought, oh, maybe she doesn't want to have kids. And even if she didn't want to have kids, that's her choice. But the reality was she was facing a battle that many people did not know about. And it's a hard one, but it's like, don't put other pressures on people, because a lot of the time, especially for us content creators, we go through things that you may think that we share everything that happens in our lives. We don't. There are some things that we keep to ourselves. There's some things that are very painful for us. And some of you just come and just say whatever, just by heart. You talk by heart and just think, I'm just going to say this. And as if we're not people, as if we don't have feelings. We have feelings and we have to process things. And sometimes when you say things, you know, it can affect someone's whole day. It really does. It's like YouTube definitely makes you grow a thick skin when it comes to things. And I think that's something that I've learned over the years, where I've had to grow thick skin and I've had to be like, you know, you see a comment, brush it off. And sometimes I don't care. Like, you said whatever you would said. I just think, okay, sometimes the person's an idiot, because, you know, the response that they gave is just so non-rational that you must be an idiot to have made that kind of comment. That's how I think, you know. So those ones, I just brush them off. But there are certain times where people say things and it's hurtful, especially when you're not in a space where you can defend yourself. Like Miss Trudy, she couldn't defend herself and say, well, it's because I'm having fertility issues. That's her business. Do you see what I'm saying? And so you sit there and you take it and you have nothing else. And so it makes it very, very difficult. So you have to be kind to people, and not just YouTubers, but be kind to people in general. It doesn't take much for you to be kind to someone, or to just allow someone to live life on their own terms. We have to stop this whole dictatorship of you should do it like this, this, and this. No, they don't. Nobody has to do anything like that. They can do what they want. So stop judging. Honestly, it's so painful. And I'd love for us to move away from that. And I'm not just talking about people on YouTube. I'm talking about in general. I'm talking about Ghana, how we perceive each other, how our families perceive each other, how we perceive people in our families. We must stop this whole judgment thing. I've had many judgments made about me. And a lot of the time, I've got to a space now, I think, where I just brush it off. Like, I cannot continue to care what people think. I've had people, my own family, I'll be honest with you, I had people in my own family say things about me and misrepresent some of the things about me. And I have no choice but to move on from that, because it's not the truth. And I cannot keep trying to, I'm even getting emotional. Woo. I cannot keep trying to convince people of what the real reality is. And so therefore I step away from it. Me, I'm very easy, like, I'll cut you off in a heartbeat, because me, I don't need pressure. Like, I just don't need that. Do you know what I'm saying? And so it makes things very difficult. But anyway, I don't want to stray from the video. The video wasn't about me. The video was about Miss Trudy and Wode. I'm genuinely so happy for them. Like I said, I know what that journey is like. I'm really, really pleased for them. But guys, let's take it easy on each other. Let's love each other. Let's give each other space to grow in whatever shape or form that may be. Let's give each other love. Let's give each other space. We all have enough problems. We don't need to be adding to each other's problems. The world is hard enough without us coming to add to somebody else's woes. Like, let's just move away from that. Let's not do that. Let's support each other, you know. So anyway, that's where I'm going to leave the video right now. If you would like to do a one-to-one consultation with me about moving to Ghana, you can send me an email to dela@mortodela.com. Also, if you'd like to move to Ghana and you'd like a soft landing, I have 2 one-bedroom Airbnbs which are available. Two one-bedroom apartments which are available for either long stay or short stay. You can send me an email to the same email address and we can talk about it from there. And that's it. My Fafa by Dela brand is being pushed. My shea butter products are ready if you would like to purchase some. Again, let me know, reach out to me, or you can also have a look on my website as well. I feel like this is this is a new year, it's a fresh year, new beginnings. And so I'm glad to be hearing good news from people. And yeah, you know, let's move with intention in 2026 and all that good stuff. So yeah. Okay, so that's the end of today's video. If you haven't already subscribed here, I would love it if you would hit the subscribe button and the notification bell. Don't forget to also like, comment, and share this video. Until next time, I am out. Let's see how far.
Me wind and rain, you're some kind of